This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to this live stream. Before I get into anything, I just want to make sure that the audio is working properly. The video I did yesterday, I've been having issues with the microphone on my computer for a little bit of time here. It should have been working yesterday. I don't know why it wasn't, but apparently it was not picking it up. So make sure, let me know in the comment section that you could hear me clear. There might be a little bit of an echo, but as long as you could hear pretty clearly, that's what I want to know. And let me know if it's better than it was yesterday if you were here yesterday. And then we'll get into this stuff that's going on with YouTube, with the censorship, stuff I covered obviously yesterday. And I'm going to continue to cover because there's almost, we're almost at a point where they're making it, it's like, what's the point of making content right now if they're going to be doing this massive purge where they're not going to let anyone see the videos that you make or your live streams, which even with this, yesterday I had 1,200 people, which is nice that 1,200 people care and came. But obviously they're suppressing all of this stuff. This is what they do. And this is how they operate. Let me make sure that this is still live. Hold on. All right. Just to confirm, audio is good. Okay. So I'll look at the comments and I'll answer some questions and stuff like that in a bit. Because I know, people want to interact. I understand that. And I appreciate that. I appreciate people, wanting to interact. And I understand that's part of the experience here on YouTube, or even with most of what's going on in today's world. People want to be able to interact with one another via the, devices for the most part, because from what I've seen and from what people tell me, women tell me, men aren't out there interacting with women face to face. They're only doing it via a cell phone these days. But nonetheless, just in general, being able to talk and, answer questions, I'm always here. I try to be available as much as I can. Nonetheless, in the fallout from the nonsense that went through yesterday, it's pretty unbelievable. They've come up with this new I guess psyop that they want to push from someone named Steven Crowder. I don't know who he is. Apparently he's a very popular YouTuber, and he's in the alt-right, supposedly. I don't know, or maybe just his viewpoint is. They've taken ads away from him because he made fun of somebody who was openly gay, and then that person who was openly gay was apparently allowed to, he's allowed to say what he wants and make fun of who he wants to make fun of, but you can't make fun of him for the Hershey Highway. So the whole thing is obviously just all ridiculous. I believe that this is just, this is just gaslighting the agenda anyway. Not saying that the guy Crowder is in on the other side. I have no idea. I don't know who he is. I'm not going to make accusations. I mean, if he's, if a channel becomes big on YouTube, I'd be a hypocrite to say that that means they're automatically in, because my channel did get big, but obviously it's been, lumped in now and censored pretty extremely the last couple of months. But they're looking at all of the stuff that, people like Steven Crowder are doing to try to decide now, because people are in an uproar because, as of yesterday, they were like, oh, well, we weeded out all the crap off of YouTube. And people went, no, but this guy Steven Crowder mocks gay people, and it's Gay Pride Month, so we should give him a strike and do this. And all this stuff that comes out is all part of the media. They're not going to react to people. They're not going to be like, oh, people are in an uproar, we better stop this or do that, unless they're really afraid of something. And obviously, if it's coming from the left, the liberal side, they're not afraid of it because they're on it. You know what I mean? They're working. They're a part of the left. So it wasn't an uproar. It was just something that obviously they pushed the agenda and put it out there so they could demonetize this channel. But it's just what is hate and what is not. This is a real question, right? I was saying it yesterday. I'll say it again. You tell me what's hate. Because anybody can define hate any way they want. I could look at you and say something that you do that I don't like is hateful to me and hurtful, right? I mean, how ridiculous do we want to make this, out to be? I mean, all the fairies out there and everybody. I mean, it's unbelievable because they're such hypocrites, right? You get all the homosexuals and all these people who like hate channels like mine. All they do is bash Jesus and so it's like, well, isn't it fair game then? And it should be. Everything is fair game. God gave us the gift of free will, and God gave us mouths to speak. Some might say it's the most dangerous weapon we have, being able to speak. Personally, I believe it is. I believe your voice is more dangerous than a weapon, a gun, a knife, anything. Now, sure, a weapon obviously could take you out, a knife, a gun, you die instantly. But this whole world revolves around the mind and mind control and influence and those types of things. So what you say to somebody can influence them or hurt them or educate them. So it's no wonder that it's such an important thing for them to go after, is all of us having a voice, right? Because what would they fear more than our voices? They know that we can't do anything physically, right? Because they have, they own the military. I mean, nothing like, and, personally, as someone who's a follower of Christ, you could have a difference of opinion on this than I do, but I'm not a gun-toting American. I don't care, to be honest with you, as far as like, they're going to come to kill me, then just come and do it. I'm not the kind of person that believes in that stuff, and like owning a gun and protect it. I mean, I get it, right? Own a gun, protect. I believe in those rights that people should have it. I don't believe people who own guns are bad people and dangerous people. No, I understand why people do. To me, it's just like, it's whatever. Because if somebody's coming to my house or going to do something, then just wipe me out, And if you're like, if it's just some regular person, like not somebody who's like, oh, well, we have to take him out, like government op, it's just some guy who hates my guts. Well, at least have the balls to use your fists. If you're going to take me out with a gun with me without a weapon, it's pretty pathetic. But go ahead. But personally, if I'm going down swinging with my hands. That's just the way that I was brought up, and that's how it's just my mindset on stuff, Anyway, that's off topic, but I think that, the whole mindset that people have now, it's almost becoming a distraction because the thing that everyone's talking about is gun control. While this freedom of speech is being removed. And the freedom of speech part is way more important than gun control. Not to say any right is more important than another, but come on. The right to say something, the right to speak and have an opinion. I mean, this is retardedly ridiculous. That's what it is. I mean, can you even say retardedly ridiculous? Or is that offensive too? It's like every word, oh, but you hurt this person's feelings, then you hurt that person's feelings. It's like the word, what if I say the, is that going to hurt someone's feelings? If I say it, is it going to hurt someone's feeling? They say now, poop, pee. I mean, what words and who are these people to decide what words are hate speech and what aren't? And let's not act like any of these hypocrites on the left. And I hate even talking about the left versus the right because the left, it's all rigged. There is no left and there is no right. It's all fake, right? And even look at this. I have 858 people watching now. God bless all of you and thank you for being here. I have 470,000 subs in this channel. I was one of the highest and fastest growing channels in this community. And on top of that, my views in the last week for my videos have been in a toilet. Despite making 3 videos a day, 4 videos a day sometimes. So they can sit there and they can deny it all they want. But I am documenting all of this stuff. And if I'm thinking that this might be a temporary type of restriction and handcuff on all of us. But I'm giving them until next week. And if I don't see my stats and numbers and stuff go back to where they are, I am filing a massive lawsuit. Massive. And I am taking it to the streets because I'm not going to be bullied by pansies on the left And like I said yesterday, the last person you want to push is me. You could sit, they could sit there, and other people would sit there and hear and go, "Oh, I hear everybody says that." No, I'm telling you, I'm the last person you want to push. Now you can shoot me in the back of the head. Go ahead, but I'm aware of how the court system works, and I'm aware that it's all fixed through Freemasons and all these secret societies. But I'm going to make everybody aware of that before any trial or anything even goes public. Or I'll make it public on here. I'll make sure other YouTubers make it public. I'll make it the biggest thing, the biggest spectacle. I'll be like Vince McMahon. I'll be promoting this thing like Don King, and I'll let everybody in every town know how the court systems aren't there for justice, how these brothers and sisters, whether Eastern Star, Freemasons, all network together and work together to shun us out. So like I said yesterday, the smartest thing they could do is just go, all right, maybe we'll just leave this guy be. Because if you don't, I wouldn't want to deal with me when I'm pissed off. I'll tell you that much. And believe me, believe me, that's not me being a narcissist or patting myself in the rear. And ask people who have pissed me off how far I'll take it, because I will. I'll sit there and I'll say, well, why don't you define what is hate? Because any person can interpret hate any way that they want. You could be offended by the littlest thing. Somebody could pick their nose, and the person in the room could be like, my dad died picking his nose. His finger got jammed up his nose. So they see someone pick their nose. Oh my gosh, I'm so offended by it. And what are they going to call the police? I mean, how ridiculous does this need to get where you can't have an opinion against someone else's way of life because they can't protect themselves or grow a pair of balls? And they go, oh, it hurts my feelings. Meanwhile, they're talking crap up, you should see the channels, the liberal channels who attack me. Most of them are flamers. And they just run their mouth like, oh, and the hate speech and stuff. And they say, oh, Call For An Uprising should hang himself. Oh, well, that's real nice. Could I care less about it? No, I could. I let them say it. It doesn't affect me. I don't hear that go, oh, I'm going to punch a hole in his head, or, oh, I'm going to do something to myself. I could care less. In fact, I enjoy the fact that I trigger them so much that they feel that way, that they want me to kill myself. But do they not realize by saying that I shouldn't be allowed to speak and say that, trans and all this stuff? And I'm just using that as an example because, we, on this channel, I say we, all of us, when we talk in the, the comment section, we talk about what? We talk about all the agendas that are going on, from vaccinations to chemtrailing, to the crap in our food, to Monsanto, to weather control, you name it. But if you have a difference of opinion and somebody suddenly is like, oh, this guy believes that HARP is real. This guy believes that this is, whatever. And it's so offensive to them to believe something that isn't in the mainstream narrative that they go and they make videos saying, I hope this person dies. Oh, but that's not banned by YouTube. And I don't think it should be. I believe that they have the right to say that I should kill myself. I believe somebody on YouTube could say they want to kill me. Good. Go ahead. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to call the police. That's a threat. Because free speech is supposed to exist. God gave us mouths to speak. If we remove the right to speak, then what in the F do we have left other than nothing? Soon they're going to say you don't have the right to look at someone in the eyes, right? There's going to be a woman walking up the street, right? Beautiful. This is a beautiful, I'm assuming most of the men who listen to the channel, if not all, are straight, but maybe not. But let's just say a beautiful woman walks up the street, right? Let's say she's a cougar. Let's say she's 40. She's got a, let's say red dress, blue dress, right? Long blonde hair, looks great. She walks by you and you just happen to glance your eyes at her and check her out. Guess what? That's going to be considered sexual harassment. That's going to be considered offensive to people. I'm not kidding. That's how ridiculous this is. Look at all the stuff with the Weinstein crap that goes on, right? And then women are falling into this trap and they're like, yeah, I'm being sexually harassed. Meanwhile, women are going out to bars and all these places and no men are hitting on them anymore because most men don't even know how to talk to women this day and age because of the internet, because they can only talk tough, on the texting and all that stuff. They don't know how to speak face to face. And two, because guys are like, am I even allowed to hit on a woman anymore? The guys who have the balls to do it, they're like, if I go up to her and say she's beautiful, can she like throw a drink at me and sue me? Right? Because that's what the world's becoming. So you could eyeball check a woman 20 years ago. I guarantee you within the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be considered sexist and offensive. Even if the ironic part, right, is like all these women who come forward, like, what's her name from Who's the Boss? You guys can comment and tell me her name. I just did a video. Oh, Alyssa Milano, right? And these women, they come forward, and who was the other one? Ashley Judd, right? They come forward with the Me Too and all that stuff. And they're like, oh man, and these men are just perverse and sexually. It's like you look them up and like they're literally in lingerie posing nude in magazines. When they go out in public, they're dressing like hookers. So it's like, well, so you're supposed to go out and wear no clothes, and then a man is, you're like asking for somebody to go, right? But my point being is that the restriction of free speech is getting so insane, it's going to turn into like eyeball looking, right? Oh, have you looked at the person the wrong way? You looked at you gave the person a dirty look. You checked the person out. You're not allowed to do that in 1984. Not in this Orwellian society. No way. No way. You can't do this type of stuff. That's what they want from us. They want us to continually give in. To the point of us literally not being able to speak to one another, which is exactly what happens in 1984. Right? You can't have relationships. You can't have anything without consent. You can't kiss. You can't hold hands. And it sounds insane. It literally sounds insane. But it's the reality of it. And it's not so much about YouTube and all this other stuff that people make it out to be. It's about your rights as a human being. And I think in America, most people take it for granted because this is just the way life is, right? But if you lived somewhere else, you'd be like, oh my gosh. And in a sense, we are lucky, but we're the experiment. That's what we are here, right? So while we think, well, it's better than living over there or living over there, yeah, possibly, but we're the experiment. Psychologically, people don't even realize what kind of fear, paranoia, and all this stuff that they create in people's heads, and these barricades they put in people's minds to make them, just rats in a wheel, right? To make them 9 to 5 slaves, 5 to 6 days a week, 50 hours a week. It used to be 40 hours a week, right? Remember that? It was 40 hours, 9 to 5, yeah, ain't 40 hours a week anymore. 50 hours now. People are working, 9 to 7. They keep taking away rights. They keep taking away time. Taking away speech. Taking away thought. Anything possible that they can have their hands on and mold and manipulate. They will, and they do. And we allow them to do it. It's no different than taxes. Nobody even talks about that and looks at them. They're just like, oh my gosh. Now I'm being taxed for this. My taxes are what? Right? I mean, the fact that there is such a thing as property tax, it's like, it's the most unreal thing. You buy a house, you buy land. Why in the world would you have to pay taxes on the land? You own the land. It's yours. You still got to pay Big Brother. And you pay a lot. Property taxes are insane in certain states. Insane. All right, I'm gonna take questions now and see what anyone has to say in the chat. I don't want to bore anybody with a rant, but I am getting too old for this. For this dung. I'll tell you that much. I've never seen my channel suppressed like this. It's pretty hilarious, to be honest. People are okay. I'll address this since people were asking. Why not? Because a lot of people have been asking in the comment section about the Isaac Cappy thing. I'll address it once and only once. I'm not making a video on it because, listen, I don't know if this guy's really dead or he's alive, if he was murdered or he wasn't. I have no evidence of it, so why am I even going to talk about it? Okay, I don't need to make videos, to get views or clicks or anything like that. All right, I have enough people who watch my channel. I addressed this guy when all this stuff first came out. And I said, do not listen to the guy and don't trust the guy. And I still believe that the guy was fully, I don't want to say an operative, but he could have just been some guy. I mean, I don't who, was financing him and all this other stuff. There's so much stuff. The point is that who really, I shouldn't say who cares. If the guy really, did that to himself, obviously it's horrible. Nobody wishes that on anyone. But I have no take on what supposedly happened or didn't happen. I'm not going to fall into any type of psyop or, be baited into talking about it. But if, the actual story is true and the guy did do that to himself, well, it's horrible. Because even somebody who, I would consider a bad person or a scumbag, I don't want to see them do it to themselves. I wouldn't even want to see a Satanist do that to themselves. So. But as far as the rest, I mean, what's there to? People are like, well, you got to talk about it. Talk about what? I don't know what the guy did. What I gotta do? I'm supposed to do a video and guess that if he was pushed off a bridge. I mean, come on. I have respect for the guy's life, at least. If maybe he did, take his own life, but he certainly wasn't exposing anything. I mean, that much is true. So the stuff that a lot of us talk about. I specifically, when I talk about this stuff, I understand it's an opinion, so I could show signs and symbols, and I could show you, all this stuff. And people can still say, well, it's opinionated, but he was just ranting about individuals. That's yeah. I mean, you're walking a tight line and do stuff like that. Oh, thank you, Big Cockaway Kahuna. Happy birthday! Oh, thank you. Kind of. It's on my birthday today, but I appreciate that. People who remember my birthday is in June last year, I guess, when I did a live stream. So it's very nice of people to remember that. I appreciate it. Just, another year getting old, right? Another year getting too old for this chart. All right, let me see other questions. Hey, Small says, I do think or don't think, or you do not think he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. But I'm just addressing the fact that people think I have to address it. They're like, well, you're a truth channel, you have to address it. It's like, what? He's not. I don't consider the guy a truther. Just because some guy who's famous and rubs shoulders with Hollywood people suddenly comes out on YouTube and says a bunch of stuff. I don't consider him part of any movement unless they actually do videos and provide evidence, or it's like, what do you even call evidence these days? But my videos, I like to show the repetition, obviously, right? Or and show the meaning behind a lot of the symbols and stuff the occult uses. So to me, it's like, at least you can see it. I mean, saying like Steven Spielberg's or this or that, I agree with it, but I mean, because I believe all of them are. I feel like that's the secret of the Brotherhood, and that's how they all this stuff stays button lipped. But anyway, at the end of the day, obviously, if the guy did do it to himself, I think it's pretty awful. I feel bad. And if he didn't, and somebody did it to him, it's bad too. But I don't. I'm not biting on the psyop. I'm not talking about it. So I think it's just theirs. Who knows? Who knows what's to come from these types of things? But things do actually happen in real life, so it's definitely a possibility. But that's the last of that. Anything else other than that topic anyone wants to discuss? Thanks, Kim Payton. Appreciate it. Thanks, Doris. Appreciate it. Bill Cooper. I think Bill Cooper's legit. I know a lot of people don't. I do. I enjoy a lot of his, when I was younger, at least. I haven't listened to many recently, but I think I used some of his clips when George W. passed. That was George H. Whatever. George Sr. passed. But I think Bill Cooper's books are at least worth a read, and then you could decide and how you feel about it. Oh, thank you, Wolf Haas. Appreciate it. God bless you, my friend. Also, I like Ted Gunderson. I put that speech up from William Guy Carr. Pawns in the Game is a great book. There's a lot of good stuff to read. Even, people, the tough part about doing that is people are like, oh, you're promoting it. It's your LinkedIn. So if that person says anything that's like against something, they're like, oh, you support somebody who's, they believe in the flat earth, or they believe in theirs. And everybody goes butt crazy about stuff. It's just the world we live in now. It's kind of insane, but what can you do, right? Can you do? Thanks, Louie. Appreciate it. God bless you, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Pretty amazing that not only 930 people. And listen, I'm not being like, oh man, because I know that people are like, look, he's got 900, he's got 400,000 subs, so he buys this. I mean, this kind of crap. The proof's in the pudding. If you look at my channel and the views on my videos, but the last week has been unbelievable. It's almost like not worth making. I was doing 3 videos a day. Like, I was running them out, and none of them are getting views. And I get it if people don't want to watch a certain video. I do, but everything is upside down. And I'm telling you right now, again, there is going to be action taken against YouTube, and it's not an idle threat, and it's not like, oh, well, what are you going to do? What's big bad? That's fine. I'll show everybody in America what it's like to have free speech, and there's this whole illusion that they created where it's like, oh, well, you can become anything you want. You can become a superstar. You can become a musician. Okay, well, I have a big channel on YouTube for talking about things that I believe in. Oh, but I'm not allowed to talk about what I have to be suppressed. Why is that? Because you don't agree with my opinion? Well, that's what we call in modern day America, or old school America, bullshit. And if you tell people that and you just say it to them, even liberals, they'll go, no, you're right. You're right. You should have a right to speak. So this whole psyop that they're pushing is not going to fly. And it sure as hell is not going to fly with me. So if I see this stuff next week, in 3 days, Monday, if I see this by Monday, I'm going old school. I'm getting the consigliere involved. All right? For those of you who know what a consigliere is. You know what I mean? Siglieri doesn't screw me over. He knows how to get things done. Thanks, Alyssa. God bless you too, my friend. Very kind of you. Appreciate it greatly. Appreciate everybody who supports the channel. I don't live stream often. I was working on another video, and after seeing what they're doing to my other videos, I'm just like, oh, there's no point in putting it up right now, because whatever they're doing, whether it's a temporary test or temporary holdback, they're not showing people, our channels. They're not, even people who subscribe, let alone, suggesting it to people, right? I mean, if somebody's like looking up a certain stuff, they should be able to find, channels like mine and channels like yours, the listener, whoever. If you have 5 subs, 10 subs, people should be allowed to listen to who they want to listen to. Your wrench is gone. All the wrenches are gone. Don't take it personal. I talked about it yesterday at Big Karate. Something happened to my back end. All the wrenches are gone, and people who were blocked are no longer blocked because they're now commenting again. I was hoping it was temporary, like it was just like some type of glitch. But now I'm like seeing people who I blocked years ago showing up. I'm even reblocking them, and they're still showing up. And I only block people who like write disgusting, filthy things where I don't want anyone, like any kids to see, you know what I mean? Like trolls who are like, just, not real trolls, like wannabe trolls who say vulgar, disgusting stuff. So, well, thanks, Global Witness. God bless you, my friend. Appreciate it. It will all work out. I'm sure it will. Elizabeth R., thank you. It is Christian suppression. It is. Totally is. Thank you. God bless you. Appreciate that greatly. I think it's a little more than Christian suppression, too. I mean, it's there comes a point. I mean, it's like, I've been saying over and over, it's like whatever side you're on, even if you're someone who trolls the channel, hates the channel, but you always show up, which is just ironic. It's like, if you don't like what I have to say, turn it off, right? If you don't like what someone says, why are you listening? If they offend you, why are you listening? Goodness gracious. If somebody who's a proud LGBT believer, why would you listen to my channel then? Why? Because it hurts your feelings so much? Then get the hell out of here. Oh, but I'm not allowed to be against that stuff. It's like saying, it's like if a guy finds a girl and you're like, oh no, that's not the right girl, as a friend. You're like, I don't think you should be with her. I don't think you should be. Well, you're not allowed to say that because he wants to be with her. So who are you to say he shouldn't be with her? You're not allowed to have an opinion on, oh, I think she's too snooty, or she smells, she's got bad breath, right? Oh, I used to date her. She took a dump in the apartment I lived in and it stunk. I mean, okay. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion on everything, especially this day and age. But the only people that aren't, apparently, are us. All of us. Oh, thanks, KJV Exposes All. Good to see you, brother. Keep up the good work on your channel, too, my friend. Appreciate it. Rebecca. Thanks, Rebecca. God bless you. No need to thank me ever. Only thanks needs to go to Jesus Christ. He died for our salvation. No one else in this world should be thanked for anything, to be honest. But I was like, if anyone, let me see in the comments. Is anybody like aware of LeBron James? Does anybody follow or like know of basketball? Because I won't comment on it unless people do. So say yes or no, and I'll take a breather and see what people say. Because this thing that happened in the NBA, I was reading about. I was going to do a video on it, but I'm like, what's the point of doing it? They're just gonna get no views and nobody cares because they're just gonna hide it. Well, way more no's than yeses, which is a good thing. But I'll explain the story so people get it. So last night, oh, thanks, Justin Miller. Depending on, I have to look into that. Oh, thanks, K Smalls. Appreciate it. God bless you, my friend. Well, let me just say this real quick about what I want to say. All right, so if you don't know anything about basketball or you don't care, which you don't have to care, this has nothing to do with basketball. Close your eyes and envision it. If you saw it, then let's walk through it together, right? Last night in the NBA Finals, a guy dove into the crowd, right, to get a basketball. Like the ball's going out of bounds. He dove in to stop the ball from, to try to save the ball, which is what people do, which happens, right? Happens even in rec leagues. People are passionate when they play. Whether you want to call it rigged or not is another story. So the guy dives into the crowd. He hits some people in the front row. A guy gives him a push on the shoulder, like a light push, not like a push where he like throws him on the ground, like a push. Okay. Is it necessary? No. But it just shows you how rigged and fake all this stuff is, because he dives in, he gets pushed, right? And now the whole narrative the next day is that the guy who pushed him, a fan who pushed him, is the owner of one of the owners of the team, the opposing team. And he's white. And the player was black. So LeBron James and all these Freemason NBA players tweet out about white privilege and talk about white privilege. We got to stop this stuff. How could fans do stuff like this? He literally shoved the guy. Does he have a right to do that? No. But it shows you that it's fake, because this is what they're doing, is they're taking away, literally like pushing somebody. People are like they're like, LeBron James tweeted the police should have been called. He pushed the guy on the shoulder. We're getting to the 1984 point where literally if you hug somebody the wrong way, people are going to call assault on you. And I'm not kidding. That's how scary this is getting. If you didn't see it, look it up. You'll just go, really? LeBron James is like, assault, white privilege. Oh, what a surprise from LeBron James, the biggest Freemason in the current NBA, other than Steph Curry. High-ranking Mason Satanist, there's no doubt about it. It's already shown his colors. I've exposed them before. And not just from throwing up the 3.666 symbol that they want to tell us it is by putting it over their eye. But the point isn't even about the racial agenda, right? Them pushing that, which they always do. Right? He was white, the player was black, he pushed him, right? The guy dove across, and then he almost hit the guy's wife, is the supposed story, but it looks as rigged as you could possibly make it, because the guy had no reason to even put his hand on the player, but he did. So even so, if you were there and you were sitting next to your wife and your wife got up and the guy goes in, maybe you would do that because you would be like, oh, I gotta protect my wife, or maybe you gotta show off. But it was like a tap. It was like slapping somebody on the hand. That's how ridiculous it was. Like, it was the stupidest thing. If somebody launched the guy, somebody popped them in the face, I'd say, all right, well, now we're talking maybe assault. Even though, personally, I don't believe, a fight between two people who want to fight is assault, or, we can get into that in a different topic, but different conversation, I should say. But it's insane. It's insane. So they're all calling for they're like, the police should have been brought in. The guy is now banned from going to the games. He's an owner of the team, which obviously it's bullcrap. How is he banned? He owns the stadium. He's not the owner, because most teams are owned by multiple people, but he's one of the minority owners. And it's just like, is anyone missing? Do you see what they're doing? Because subliminally, these are the things that they keep doing. And this is how they keep taking rights away, right? Think about it. I mean, 20 years ago, if you got a fight in school, it was a fight in school. and you might get suspended or go to detention. Now it's assault. So two kids get in a fight in school, you're going to jail, or a boys or girls juvenile detention center, right? So a shove is now LeBron James and all these people are calling for the police should be called. Oh, we need to be protected as players. And this isn't about race and this stuff, which they're making about. It's about taking away rights. That's what it's about. And that's what they're doing. So little by little, the more that these events constantly occur, people don't realize that they're putting seeds in your head. That's why I say every story you see on CNN, ESPN, whatever your little thing might be when you get up, maybe you're like, oh, I want to look at the stock market. Maybe I want to look at sports. Maybe whatever. If you're a woman, maybe you want to look at Cosmopolitan or whatever, because maybe you're into makeup and all. There's always an underlying theme. Deliberately. To deprogram and to plant seeds. So even with that, even if that was a real event yesterday, because I know it's like with sports, it's hard because when things are done in real time, it's very hard to say it's fake. I know not everybody, a lot of people believe every single thing in sports is fake. I have no issue with them believing that. It's pretty hard to stage, I would think, but maybe they do. Nonetheless, it's about the narrative that comes out of it. A gnat. Yeah. Sorry, a gnat flying over my head. It's about the narrative. Whatever comes out after the story is part of the agenda. And that's all that this stuff is. It's like, you look at it, you want to pull the hair out of your head. You hear this stuff. Oh, he pushed him on the shoulder. The guy didn't even notice. He noticed he pushed him. But he didn't flinch. He didn't get thrown back. And they're like, that's assault, call the police. Read 1984. Read it. Because everything you see that's going on is happening. That doesn't mean that, this Orwellian society, and he figured it all out. Obviously was a part of it. This is part of ritual magic. This is what they do. They tell you in advance of what's going to happen. There's a reason that 1984 used to be mandatory reading in schools. Desensitize people, right? Desensitize them, make them aware of what they're going to live in, because that's how mind control works. This is what your life's going to be like. And then the magic aspect of it, revealing the plan before is part of the spell and the craft. That's why. Because I know people are like, whoa, man, we need, this whole, people are like, 1984, how do you know? It's like, of course you don't think it was part of the agenda to write that out? Of course he was a Mason and a part of this stuff. They're giving the books out in school, public schools for people to read. The part to remember is the desensitizing, the programming. It's a blueprint, absolutely, but it's their blueprint that they showed us first. And then they use their ritual magic and their spell casting through showing us it first. And that's what they do. That's why I try to show all of you who listen to the channel everything that they're doing, because they're showing it in advance. They're telling you in advance what's to come. That's why when you read the headlines and all this stuff, you need to see it for what it is. Because they're telling you what's to come by just hinting at things, right? So that story I'm talking about, the NBA, they're hinting at taking away contact between people, because that's in 1984, literally. Anyone in the chat who's read 1984, am I wrong? Doesn't it end or something? Isn't one of the things, the guy and the girl, they're not allowed to be together, they're not allowed to kiss, they're not allowed to touch one another? This is exactly what they've set up and how they want it to be set up. So even a push, it's like, oh, you pushed me. Oh, grow a pair of balls. You got pushed. Oh my gosh. We're not even talking about a guy pushing a woman. We're talking about a guy pushing a guy. And the guy was like 60 who pushed an NBA player, right? So if it was a real event, they love it because it was a white guy and a black player, and so they could take all the angles, right? They could take the racial angle of it, right? You could say, oh man, which they love, which is divide and conquer. And they could take the angle of people are out of control. You shouldn't be able to push somebody. You can't be able to touch somebody, right? Bullying, bullying, bullying. Over and over and over. Is anyone in here actually, have you actually read I'm just curious if anyone has. I want to read the comments. Just write yes or no. Oh, thank you, Maribel Rivera. I'm saying your name right. I hope so. Appreciate it. God bless you, my friend. A lot of no's, surprisingly. That used to be mandatory school reading, 1984. Now, I'm not super old. I think the majority of people listening to the channel are in the same age range as me. But that was mandatory reading, in the 90s, the 80s for a lot of people. I know it was for my parents. I know my parents had to read 1984. And at the very least, it's like when you bring some of the stuff up to people, they're like, oh, like 1984, like, and that's the reason, right? Because they instantly have something in their consciousness to pull out and go, oh, I read the book. You sound like a crazy guy from the book, the fictional book. That's how it works. Mind control is easy to figure out. All you have to do is consciously think. Thanks, Willie. Sister Katrina. Yeah. Well, thank you, my friend. God bless you. If people think and are on a level of just thinking, just think. Every time something happens, just think and go, why, what, where? Instead, people are just like, they sit there in a dull and they're like, oh, okay. Instead of going, That's why I always talk about repetition, because when you see it, right, you can call that kind of stuff out. But nobody ever sees repetition, right? You're not going to be like, oh, I watched The Bachelor last night. I watched American Idol. It's like last season. It's the same thing. Or there's this guy is pegged as the villain, or this person is built up as the superstar. Every show is formulated the same. Everything is. The easiest thing for you to use, if you're interested, is anyone interested? I don't even know if anyone's still even listening or caring. So let me ask if anyone's interested. Anybody out there? All right, I see a few. Yeah, so it's nice to know. The easiest thing I would say to use on people is how we study animals, right? Now, people will say humans are animals, so of course they are. I mean, I think humans are animals. And I'm not saying from the standpoint of humans are animals, they're vicious. You study the behavior of animals, right? Do you own a dog? Do you own a cat? I guarantee 99/100% of the people in the chat, at least once in their life, had a pet. Okay? Did you not know the behavior of the pet? Where the pet liked to sleep, where the pet liked to eat, what the pet enjoyed, rubbing his stomach, petting him on the back. Maybe he didn't like this, maybe he didn't like that, right? Maybe he went to the bathroom at these certain times. All of this stuff. This is behavior of an animal. No different than when we put on the nature channel and we see a wolf or we see a lion, right? And we see the behavior of the animal. They're like, well, lions like to sleep during this period, and this is when they hunt, and this is when they do this, and this is what hippos do, and right? And we all know that because we've seen it, right? We're like, okay, well, don't go near, even though a hippo looks like a big fat slob, don't go near a hippo because a hippo will kill you pretty quick. Hippos are dangerous. Well, this is exactly what they've done with humans, with human behavior. But people are like, wait a minute, what? They've studied the mind. They've studied the behavior of a human being, the pros, the cons, the weaknesses, the strength, the things that we all, the competitiveness that humans naturally have, right? They've taken it. What have they done? They've put it into sports. They put it into politics. They put it in different things so that nobody will go after them, the ones who are the controllers, because all their energy goes into these things that don't matter. And I'm a victim of that too, because I grew up a sports fan. I still watch sports, don't enjoy them like I've said, like I used to, because I know it's all BS now. But think about it, human behavior, right? You hear about, oh, somebody studies human behavior. Guess what? Nobody needs a degree in human behavior. Watch how people act. You know if you're going to say something to someone and you're going to go, oh, I got to tell my girlfriend that her boyfriend is cheating on her. Well, how do you think she's going to react, right? You know she's going to cry, she's going to be upset. It's human behavior. So everything that they've laid out on this plate for us is nothing more than a way to control us through all of the media and all of the fear that they push, is to just lead people and manipulate them through their human behavior, because they know how people are going to react to this and react to that, right? And that's what we have to put a stop to. Because if you don't put a stop to that, if you don't say, okay, listen, this guy's coming, say there's a gay couple, right? And they're going to a party of they're invited to, someone's bringing a gay guy, let's just say, to a party, a friend, the gay guy's a friend, and the couple's, it's a Christian house and whatever, they don't agree with it. The guy already knows in advance that the guy don't want him there, probably, but he's going. Right? He's going to go to the party. He's going to sit down, and nobody probably will say anything the whole time, because nobody's going to start a fight or start an altercation. So how his behavior is going to be. He's not going to go to the party and be like, I'm going to attack this guy. He's a Christian. I'm going to the party, and he's against gays. Well, you wouldn't go to the party then. They go to the party, nothing ends up happening. Does that make sense? Human behavior, as far as understanding and knowing how people are going to react to certain specific things based off of whatever is formulated and pushed down our throats, or based off of the situations and the circumstances that we live in. So think about it from the standpoint of you, the listener. Somebody's alcoholics asleep with Mario, the vigilant Christian. # miss you, Mario. Very funny. You could do a better troll than that, though, couldn't you? I like good trolls. I was pretty weak, but made me laugh. Only because we all miss Mario, right? Been pretty drama-free here for a while on YouTube. Anyway, tell me in the comment section, what is something, as far as human behavior goes, okay, in your day-to-day life? Are you out noticing people? Are you watching people's behavior? If you never have, you should. The people who I'm closest with, I'm friends with, all watch people's behavior. And that's not a sick or weird thing to say. It's like people go out and they're just like, I hate to go out. People press it, like, I hate to go out. But they're like, but I like to watch what people are, what they're doing. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, when I go out, I'm watching what they're doing. Like, I've been to the mall in probably 5 years, probably 10 actually. I can't even tell you the last time I went to a mall. But the last time I went anywhere, like in a public place in the last year where there's people, which I mean, is unavoidable for the most part if you get a grocery shop and do certain stuff. I'm not like walking around going, where's this, where's that? Say I'm at the grocery store, I'm like going, where's the Cheers? I gotta find it. I mean, like I know I've got to get all these things on the list, but every time I see a person, like my brain is just like I'm not sitting there staring at them, but like I know what's going. You look at them and you're like, this person's on their phone. What are they doing? What are they thinking? They don't realize they're programmed, and do they need to be on the device? 20 years ago, they'd be like, I'll never have a cell phone. Now they can't leave the house without it. That's human behavior. Now the grocery store is a bad example because that's actually a place where you're like kind of quickly like getting the things you need. But if you go to the mall, I can't even imagine walking around the mall. I mean, obviously everyone's texting, they're walking into pillars, they're probably wearing diapers, crapping their pants, not realizing it because they're just more obsessed with their phone than anything else. They can't even take 5 seconds to go pee because they want to be on the phone. They cannot be off the phone. But watching the behavior of people and how they act, this is what they do to us. This is what they study. So when they pass all these things across, right, the biggest thing that ends up happening is that they watch the pushback. So they know, they monitor our reactions. Because if they did something so drastic and crazy that everybody would go, holy F, what the F? Oh my goodness. There really is a conspiracy and people are controlling the government and this is all, just say something happened where everyone would figure out, the Federal Reserve and Israel and all this stuff. If they release something like that, they want to see the reaction of everything. So when they do stuff, even like the LGBT with the trans and the kids, they test it out and they go, all right, let's see how they react. Because if people react to the standpoint where it's going to cause a massive awakening, they pull back and they go away. They go, all right, it's too soon, it's too much. That's pretty much what happened with the gay agenda. It took time. Remember when Ellen came out on the Ellen show? I mean, it took about 20 years to pretty much get this to be like a thing where you can't question it. Now with the trans thing, they're going insane, overnight insane, because probably the people making decisions aren't the same old hierarchy, probably younger, cockier dumbasses, our age, who think that, oh, well, we can do whatever we want, we can manipulate, because they're stupid. Which in the sense, for their sake, they should wish that some of these old farts are still around because they know better. And they're rolling things out at a hyper-intensive level, which is what's happening too with YouTube. Because people aren't going to accept this. Like I said yesterday, they're not going to accept it. They're just not. YouTube got what they wanted, and they should have just shut the up. Because now none of us do talk about these shootings that occur, even though we all know they're not real. We all could show the footage and all the stuff of the crisis actors. Nobody has a tear, crocodile tears, people laughing. For them, they should have just been like, all right, at least we stopped that. And then I take it to a new level where they think they're literally going to shut all of us up, make us all tuck our tails between our legs and leave YouTube and leave all of these outlets where we can speak. And they're not, because they don't have a right to dictate what's hate and what's not. They don't. They can use those events, right? Like Sandy Hook with Alex Jones, and they can use that and say, okay, well, this person's channel's gone because, this person was shot and whatnot. And they can go into detail and go into, whatever, death certificates and all that kind of stuff. But me saying that I don't agree with somebody taking up the rear end, not wishing death upon them, not wishing hate on them, they're walking a line where they know that all they can do is try to bully you into leaving. Because legally, they do not have a right to do any of this stuff. And it's not even about legally, because we know obviously they control the laws and the rights and all this stuff in the judicial system. But more so, The American people are not going to deal with it when people like me, who can break things down very easily and speak very easily to somebody and say, listen, me and you don't agree. You're left. I'm not left or right. But just say somebody's far left on abortion or something like that. We don't have to agree, but I could say, listen, what if I said that you saying that you believe so strongly in abortion and so strongly in a woman being allowed to do this, for whatever reason. But what if I told that person, I was like, you're not allowed to say that, because what if society was twisted the other way? And it was like, oh my gosh, that's so offensive. No, they don't realize that they've been socially engineered into believing that and thinking that, and that's why this is pushed beyond belief. They would go, well, it's not fair that I can't give my opinion. So, well, okay, well, can I give mine? You don't have to agree. I don't wish death upon you, but can I give mine? Are they going to stand there and go, no, you can't? Well, if they do, then that's what you call bullshit. We all have a right to an opinion and to speech. And if that doesn't exist in this country anymore, there's going to be a real uprising in America. And I'll be right in the middle of it. I'll tell you that. Because I don't like when people mess with me or try to poke at me. I'm always down for a fight. But if I lose, I'll shake the guy's hand and say, you beat me fair and square. But I'm not down for something like this. This is bullshit, and it's not fair. Taking away the freedom and the right for someone to speak and have an opinion. Just like I said with if you saw the vaccine video I did a couple of days ago. Them going, well, now you're not allowed to have a religious belief to be an anti-vaxxer. It's like, screw you. Oh, you're not? And this is exactly what the Satanic Temple stands for. And this is why they're so important in this wheel of the New World Order. So they sit there and they pretend that they're one thing when they're not, but they're so needed because they can give the impression of, well, when people think of Satanism, they'll think of the Satanic Temple. They'll think of the guy with the pigment eye, the guy who got jizz shot in his eye, that flamer. Oh, yeah. Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah, I know them. I saw that movie, Hell Satan. It was in Sundance. They're not really Satanists. They're atheists, right? That's what they say. So people all, oh, yeah, right. Satan doesn't exist. God doesn't exist. Even though everything you see is based off of God and the devil. It's like I do videos sometimes and I'm just like, I don't even want to do it because it's so obvious, but I'm like, I have to do it. I have to show people and keep beating the drum. The stupid Amazon show with the good, I don't know the name, you could write in the chat, the good versus the evil, or the angel from hell and not the angel from hell. The angel from heaven and the demon from hell teaming together to help, fight off the end times. It's like, why are they talking about this every day over and over through this program if it wasn't real? Wouldn't it have just died off? Wouldn't the Bible and Jesus wouldn't it just have faded away if it wasn't real, if it wasn't truth? Christ is real. Christ is the truth. Good omen. Thank you. Appreciate that. But here's the catch. Christ is the only truth. And he's the only thing that matters. And that's why it's so important to them in this war. To constantly drag all of us down. To constantly drag his name down. And to make sure that the people below us, and I say below age-wise, I've got to be careful now with age discrimination on YouTube. You got to be kidding me. But I guess it's even below millennials for what they believe in. because they're creating a society with New Age spirituality, which is what the Masons believe, the Satanists believe, because they're one and the same. Make yourself better, self-improvement. You're your own God. Lucifer was the right one, not our Father in heaven. And you know who they hate more than anyone? Jesus Christ. I wonder why. I wonder why they despise him so much. Our Lord and our Savior, the King of Kings, the one who truly wears the crown. I wonder why. Well, you know why. Their job is to lead as many souls as possible astray. And that's why the Bible talks about the falling away. That's why we know in the end times there's a massive falling away, which is clearly occurring, whether you believe it or not, because I know people are like, well, no, like statistics say there's more Christians than anything else. No, that's bull. That's BS right off the bat. And then secondly, people aren't following Christ. They aren't following Scripture. They're following evangelists, televangelists, right? These guys on TV. The CIA created the evangelical movement. It was part of the entire PSYOP. Talked about it so many times. All these guys you see on TV are Freemasons. I can't even think of some of their names off the top of my head, but from Olstein all the way down. The job of them is to still initiate and put the seed in people's head, not of worshiping Christ. Of course, they're going to mention Christ because they can't be like, people will be like, wait a minute, this guy never mentioned Jesus. Talking about you, self-empowerment, self-improvement, make more money, plant the seed, you. When God didn't intend any of this to be about us being about ourselves and you and chasing this and achieving that. It's not what life's supposed to be. And that's why most people's souls are so torn. Because people are just like, I have a good job, I do this. It's like, I want to do everything I can to self-improve myself. What do you mean self-improve yourself? Self-improve how? What, because you have a temper sometimes? Well, that's how God made you. Doesn't mean you'll punch somebody in the face or, be assault your wife. Right? It doesn't mean anything like that. But he focuses on this stuff that they're just like, you gotta do this, man. You gotta self-improve. You gotta plant your seed. And Billy Graham, another Freemason, somebody wrote, yeah. I'm trying to think of the guy, Robertson. Was it Pat Robertson? It was the funniest guy of all. Who's like, the guy's like openly a Freemason. And what is the club called? Is it club? Isn't it like Club 33 or something? There's some channel or something, a network that they have. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody will write it in the comment section. Be it Pat Robertson. What is that club? Or 700 Club. Thank you, my 2 cents. Good channeling too. Yeah, 700 Club. Are you kidding me with this stuff? 700 Club. I mean, we're tuning into this crap. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, where in the Bible does God say, find these individuals who are ministers and stuff like that? And that's why I get so pissed off when people are like, why don't you become a minister? You should be a minister, or you are a minister. I'm none of the above, and I never will be. God's word is written. If you're somebody who's like, oh, I'm anti-KJV, or I'm this or that, God's word is written. Okay? It's like the Bible says, the law is written on your heart. You read, you accept, you give your life to Christ. You don't give it to, you don't have to go on a Sunday at 10 o'clock and sit down and go, well, I'm here on Sunday, it's 10 o'clock, and I am going to let Pat Robertson know that I'm supporting him. Wait, what? Who gives a shit about Pat Robertson? Excuse my French, but let's be real. Your faith and your love goes to Christ. Nobody is above anyone else. I'm not above anyone because I have a YouTube channel with a lot of subscribers. Wow, I'm not above any of you who listen. I never have said I was. I never felt I was. I've said it a million times. I go over to channels with 20 subs and I'll troll them if they piss me off, which is a compliment to them because if you piss me off, it's pretty rare, but sometimes it does happen. There's no ego here. Because I'm just a guy, and I don't like when people do stuff like that because they think they're like, oh, he's a big popular guy, and he's no, I'm not. It's a regular guy. But nobody should be looking at anybody, me, anyone, and going, that's where I'm going for, listen, you listen to this channel, it's greatly appreciated. Listen to it. If you find truth in it, if it helps you in your walk, if it helps you, share it with people, some of the symbols and all that stuff, that's amazing. But as far as anything else goes, as far as you individually go, your walk is with Christ. It's not with Joel Steen. It's not with my channel, even though I'm on a ministry. It's with Christ and how you live. And a lot of you are way better people than I am. There's so many people who are so sweet and kind and good-hearted who listen, men and women. Sometimes men write stuff and I'm like, geez, I think it's from a woman. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this person's so nice. But I'm like, yeah, I should let some of my stress go. And, because I'm a hot-headed, Italian guy. But just remember that. Don't forget that. And don't forget the gift that God gave all of us. God wouldn't have given us the ability to speak if it didn't matter. Birds have the ability to speak. Cats have the ability to speak. We might not know what they're saying, right? You might talk to your cat. Meow, meow, right? You're like, I don't know what. Now you might be like, oh, he wants food, or he wants love and kisses, right? Or a dog barks. He's barking why? Because there's somebody outside. Or maybe the dog wants love, right? And then using their voice. The bird, the dog, the cat, animals always using their voice. Why is it suddenly that humans can't use theirs? If you're a skeptic of the channel, why suddenly is a channel like this being suppressed? Tell me. As stupid as I am, as crazy as I am, why? Why? Why am I such a threat all of a sudden? With 470,000 subs, who cares? How many billion people are in this world? And 470,000 means nothing because people subscribe and don't listen. I'm subscribed to, I have like 100 channels I'm sub to. I barely watch any of the videos. I sub to them. I keep an eye on them. If something pops up and I'm like, oh, all right, maybe I want to hear this, I watch it. And I expect the same from you, the listener, to me. Especially to be like, oh, I'm watching. He's uploaded. I'm in. Right? I mean, you want to watch what you want to watch. But why suddenly are people like me such a threat? If you're a skeptic, ask yourself that and then figure out why. Because there's a truth in what we talk about. We're not doing this just because, listen, conspiracy theory, this whole, CIA quote, which they've turned into a trigger word, it's not like something that's like a popular thing. It's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to do conspiracy theories. I'm going to pick up chicks, right? They've made it even, MK Ultra wise into like a nerds are doing it, right? Oh, you live in your parents' basement. You're talking about conspiracies, Well, if that's the case, if we're living in our parents' basement and we're talking about this stuff, then why do they care so much? Everything changed in the last couple of years, and I fully believe it has to do with Pizzagate. I do. I'm still a full believer in the things that occur there, not as far as the individuals involved, but as far as Alifantis and the posts. I mean, you don't, a straight man, a gay man, what? You don't post the stuff that the guy was posting. You just don't. It's not normal human behavior. Because if you saw a friend doing that on Facebook, you'd be like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, bro? And I think from that standpoint, they went, holy F, we've got to change everything that we do on the internet. And that's what's happened. I think that's what a lot of people have dropped the ball with that and believing they're like, oh, Pizzagate was set up to take away free speech and all this stuff. No, I think it was the other way. I think that it got intercepted. They didn't expect it to happen. They created the fake thing that went on there with the shooter. And they've turned this whole narrative into something where they're fearful. They're afraid that now that we have a way to communicate, speak to each other, look out for each other, talk to each other, pass news to each other, information to each other, and the fact that these people are so ballsy in a sense, I shouldn't say ballsy because that's a compliment. They're so stupid in a sense that they post stuff like this, right? Like Alifantis is like posting, kids with pizza slices over their crotch. I mean, are you serious? What would you do on Facebook and like your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your brother, or your sister posted a picture of their kid, with a pizza emoji or literally a pizza slice over their crotch? You'd be like, what the F is my husband, brother, sister, girlfriend, whatever doing? And that's them. They've been cocky about it for a while. And now people have woken up to it. They've realized that they use food and a lot of this stuff, which is normal terminology, to use as references to children and all this stuff, right? Like, look at Miley Cyrus's Instagram. She's got like, bananas and strawberries. She's like rubbing them on her. She's like eating it like it's blood. I mean, it's ridiculous. You look at it, you just go, this isn't normal behavior. And it's not sexy because that guy would just be like, if you find Miley Cyrus attractive, which if you do, I mean, God help you. Because that's one to, I mean, whew. I know people will be like, well, she's really, man, fair enough. I mean, that's got to be one of the most unattractive things that's ever existed. As a man looking at Miley Cyrus, that's an attractive woman. Holy crap. Holy crap. But the things that she's like doing and the symbols with the food, right? You see it in these music videos with they're rubbing ice cream, it's like they're sexualizing food. Well, what do you think they're referencing? They're horny for ice cream. They're horny for a banana. Again, the banana references the penis. Yeah, well, to the weak-minded, sure. They're not going to make a $5 million music video with a banana in it unless there's something behind it. I'll take a break for about 60 seconds. I'll check out the comments now. If you have any questions, you can ask below. All right, let me see what's going on in the comment section. Again, I want to thank everybody who is here. Sorry for anybody who's offended if I said something that may have offended you. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, if you say that, SHI blank, people are offended as Christians. It's like, how do you interpret the Bible? Are you aware in the Bible the word curses and the association between curses and witchcraft and spell casting? Or you think that God was just saying, don't say the F word, don't say SHIT, like those words existed? Who defined what a curse word and what wasn't a curse word? Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to tell anyone out there, to your kids, how to raise them, what they should and shouldn't say. But realistically, go read it. Read the fine print on a curse word. It's like, And people are like, no, you shouldn't. How dare you? It's like, all right, I don't curse because I'm not going to. There's kids who do watch, and I don't want to, tell them how to speak or influence them. If their parents believe that, those words are, are dangerous or what are vile, which they're allowed to believe. And maybe I'm wrong on it. Maybe I am. But God talks about curse words, curses, spells, witchcraft, right? You don't think that they came out and were like, or here's the word F, here's the word S, and these specific words, and they go, those are curse words. So that nobody would think about spells and witchcraft and all this stuff. I mean, come on. I'm gonna see the comments. Nobody's got wrenches, so there's obviously gonna be a lot of filth in there, but I don't really care. Nothing is offending me at this point, so I don't care, to be honest. You'd say the worst possible thing, don't matter to me. Just want to answer a few questions if anyone has any. Otherwise, I'm just gonna end the stream. Try to slow this down so I can see. Call stop making vids. Okay, I can do that. Is that a lame 80s joke? And bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, see you later, fag. Bagelville, well, it's a location. You could look up bagels. Who made bagels? You could put one along, you know? Oh, thanks, Diane. I appreciate it. God bless you, my friend. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Is my mic? I just want to make sure my mic is better than yesterday's video, which is up still. I normally don't leave them up, but I left that one up. Can you hear this better? Is it better quality than yesterday? I just want to make sure the mic's working because it clearly wasn't working yesterday. I know hacking and a bunch of people told me. So I was aware. And then when I went back and listened, I was like, holy crap, it really literally sounded like I was like 5 rooms away yelling into my computer. So a bit better, that's it. Yeah. All right, I gotta figure this out. Oh, way better? All right. Worse than yesterday, really? All right. I'll figure out what's going on. I have an echo in the room I'm in, but the mic should be way better quality after listening at least yesterday. I guess I'll listen to this afterwards before I probably take it down, but maybe I'll leave it up for a little bit. A gatekeeper for the false God of Abraham. I am not, but thank you for asking. Appreciate it. Are you? Are you aware? Are you a gatekeeper? Yeah. Everybody's a gatekeeper once they become popular, even if, it's like I've said it a million times. A lot of you might be new to the channel. It's like you start a YouTube channel and you become popular. It's like, obviously now they want to make sure you don't. But if people listen and everyone's like, well, if I start one, I'll become popular and people will listen to me and stuff. It's like, that's not how it works really. Because then couldn't everybody just be a voice, on the radio or wherever? It's like, if you're not interesting or people don't like the way you present yourself, they're not going to listen. I don't know what it is that people like about me or the channel, but I'm very appreciative of it. It's very kind that people do. And I'm grateful that people do care. They're like, well, you're a show because people listen to you and they don't listen to me. It's like, well, your channel sucks because all you do is talk about me and other channels, or your channel sucks because you don't even present the information in a sense where people are going to get what you're talking about. So work on those skills maybe, but they don't. They're just like, you're a show. You have subscribers. You can't get 400,000 or less You buy them or you're part of the system. Oh, yeah? Take a look at the back end of my channel and the suppression. I have 754 people watching with 470,000 subs. You want to say, oh, is that evidence for you to go, he behind signs? Yeah, they're not hiding me in this in the subscription section or any other thing. Recommended, you log into YouTube, it's like recommended, watch this live, watch that live. Cool. No thanks. Block the channel. If I see it, I guess I care, I'll block it. Who cares? Why let any trolls get to any of you? Let them make fun of me. Let them make fun of you. Who cares? This is part of this free speech ban. Let them say whatever. Say it back to them. Some go, hey, to do the kill them with love technique, which works on people. They stop and like, oh, people want to trigger one another. That's how it works. It's like, all right, go ahead. I'm guilty of that. I mean, I've been triggered before and done stuff and gone after people. Not too extremely, but give them a dose of their own medicine so they go, oh, okay, now I know what it feels like. But I mean, everybody still has a right to have a voice. It's just a matter of how many freedoms, I guess, we want to give them. So I'm going to take questions real quick, and then I'm going to sign off. There's not many people even listening anymore, so I don't want to waste anyone's time. And the people who have been here and listening, I hope in some way that the live chat has helped you in any way possible. Thank you for the people in the super chat. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully this nonsense they're doing ends, by next week. Otherwise, they're going to deal with stuff on my end at least. So. And that's not an idle threat. Thanks, KL. Thank you, Kimberly Phillips. God bless you. You don't need me, but thank you. We need Christ. I'm just the dude here. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And the kind words. The encouragement's always, it's nice. I mean, if people think they're like, hey, 400,000 souls, hey, people kiss your ear and all that. Yeah, I was built to deal with criticism and all that stuff, but it's funny. It's funny watching like other channels deal with hatred and things like negativity, and this is really not. I shouldn't say negativity. And it's like hard for them. It's like, well, you got 100,000. Welcome to the club. I mean, everybody on here puts themselves out there, whether they're a gamer, doing beauty blogs or whatever you want to call it. Stuff. Well, it's not easy to do any of this stuff because people just type stuff and they attack. Everybody gets offended by it. I used to way more than now. I barely look at anything now. I don't care, to be honest. But thank you, Evelyn Needles. God bless you, my friend. Appreciate that. But when you put yourself out there and you create content, everyone's like, oh. But remember, I mean, there's so many trolls too who show up and like this is like their day. And I'm like, all right, fine. Really what they want to do is trigger. So well, thanks, Kelly. All glory to God. Amen. God bless you and your family, Kelly. All glory to God. And somebody, I don't know, maybe it was hacking. Somebody was talking about Truth Never Sleeps, who's a channel who's like attacked me over and over and over. But like they demonetized his channel. Like that's not fair. For what? I mean, we don't like one another, but like what right do they have to demonetize him? They have no right to demonetize him. Over what? Over what? Because he has a difference of opinion? He raises his voice. I haven't heard him ever say anything where it's like, oh my gosh. You know, unless they found something like from way back on like Sandy Hook or September 11th, which is like the thing that they're doing now, is they're scrubbing your old videos for those types of things, and they're going, oh well, they said September 11th was this or Sandy Hook was that, but still, it's not fair because like they should just take the video down and be like, okay, here's our new policy. Truth Never Leaves or whoever else don't talk about these things anymore. The guy made a video 5 years ago, and I don't know what the case is with his channel. No, I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying what they did to him is screwed up. I mean, it's bull crap. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Yep. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. God bless you, brother. Like, oh, we're gonna decide. We've made could somebody mail us all the list of the new Constitution, which tells us what we can and can't talk about? And the funniest argument is like people on the left are like, well, you're on YouTube. Somebody owns the platform. That's not how it works. Because if somebody gets hired at a job, I start a business tomorrow, right? Say I start a Call for an Uprising business, and I'm doing, who knows, right? Let's say I'm selling deli meat, right? I hire 5 employees. I'm looking for one more. Guy comes in, he's gay. And I go, yeah, I'm not interested. He's like, why? I'm like, I don't want a flamer here. Oh, but he can sue me because I discriminated against him. But it's my company. I run it. I decide who I want to work for me. Don't matter. It shouldn't matter, right? Maybe I don't want a gay guy working there because I think mentally it's weak, because in reality, all that stuff is mental, right? So say I'm not even going, well, I think it's disgusting. You're saying, well, I know that you're stupid and you're weak mentally because you're sexually into all the stuff that they've told you to be into. I can be sued and they could put my business out of business. So for YouTube and these idiots who are like, well, they're a privately owned company, you have to, conform to all this stuff. Okay, well, we've all conformed. We've all stopped talking about shootings and all this other stuff. They can't come on here and go, well, you can and can't talk about, have an opinion against something that's in the mainstream. It's different if you go, like they word it, they go Nazi supremacists. It's like, where are these channels? Where are these Nazi supremacist channels where people are like, I'm gonna kill racism, right? I've never seen one. And if there are any, they don't matter because it would make mainstream news. We would all know who they are. We'd be like, oh my gosh, this is channel. A guy who wears the KKK outfit. He calls for murder of black people, and the guy would get killed. I guarantee the closest black person would go and kill him or kick his ass. You never hear the stories behind it, right? There's like, oh well, and then they try to lump people like me into this stuff. They're like, oh, he's a white strip. Like, what? Huh? Whites could care less about skin color. I know the entire thing going on with blacks and whites is psychological behavior created by the Central Intelligence Agency that controls our society. I'm attracted to black women. I think black women are beautiful. Black men, no problem being friends with them. Could care less. White guys, no problem. White women, attracted to them too. Don't care. But they'll be like, oh, well, wait a minute. But he talks about conspiracies, so he's a white supremacist. Huh? Prove it. They can't. They'll just go, well, he believes there's a government conspiracy and that the stuff going on is the race war going on is a big part of a big conspiracy with Freemasons and all that stuff. Nothing to do with being a white supremacist. It has to do with divide and conquer. It has to do with order out of chaos. That's what it has to do with. Nothing else. You got to be stupid to believe that there's all of these people out there who are white supremacists. And if there are, I'm okay with that. You know why? Because I believe that if there's white supremacists out there and they believe and they hate black people so much, okay, they're allowed to believe it. But I also believe that a black person can go up to them and beat their ass. I fully believe that. And I believe that there's black people who hate white people, and they have the right to believe that and feel that. You're allowed to have an opinion as an individual, right? All we hear is what? Individuality. Are we supposed to have individual personalities in a sense? It's like if I met a black person who hates all white people based off of whatever they believe and whatever they've seen and stuff like that. And I meet the guy and he still hates my guts, I'll still be cool with him. I'll be like, look, this is how I am. If you believe that, and believe it. I'm telling you how I am. You know, if the guy wants to punch me in the head just because I'm white, go ahead. Then we fight. It's stupid, but we're all right. We don't need our government controlling our behavior, our individual maneuvers, our thinking, and all this stuff. But they do. They're the ones manipulating your thought process. They're the ones manipulating how you feel about certain things. They're the ones manipulating trends in the media. That's what they're doing. And this goes from white to black to straight to gay to everything. And why do you think they want so much control over YouTube? Because this is a spot where individuals like me would never get hired. I would never get hired at CBS, NBC. I would never apply. I don't have a degree. I don't even know what kind of degree you have to be in radio or anything like that. Because I don't. Even though people are like, oh, he's been trained. He's a great speaker. I'm a great speaker because great speakers are born great speakers. If you believe that. I don't look at myself and go, I'm a great speaker. I've always been able to talk, you know, in life, in high school, going all the way back. When people needed advice, all that stuff. I always talk to them, give them advice, look them square in the eye, tell them how I felt. And people listened. And I was just like, oh, okay, people listen. Never thought it would lead to this, whatever, you know, you call what I'm doing now. But nobody would hire someone like people are like, oh yeah, he's trained, he can go right on CBS and talk on there. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they would love me on CBS. Any of these networks. Give me a break. The reason they wouldn't is because the topics discussed, the things discussed, are things they don't want discussed. It's not about talent. It's not about being a good speaker. It's not even about getting views. You know, you think somebody will go, oh, wow, look at the views this guy gets. Oh, we should contact him. You know what's funny about it? If you're new to the channel, if you're old to the channel, you know this channel has grown insanely. All right, my first channel got taken down. This channel went from 50,000 subs to 470, whatever it's at, 470 in a year and a half. The other channel, I was like 300,000 in like 2 years. They deleted that. Then they brought that one back, but it's now a dead channel because what happens is when people are in, they're in, and then you take them away for 6 months, and then you pop back up. They're like, oh yeah, I'm over that. Right? That's the psychology that they use and what they do with this, kind of crap, which is illegal, to be honest. And Susan's gonna get Mr. Susan. I'll tell you right now, if you like drama and you like comedy, I'm gonna give, if this goes forward and I continue to see what they're doing to my channel, I promise you're gonna have a daily entertainment on this channel with what I'm gonna do. Not only am I gonna go public, show myself, do all this stuff, it's gonna be unbelievable. Because when I get pushed, I take things to unbelievable lengths. It's just how I am. People are like, "Oh, you take it too far." Well, that's what I do. I'm gonna take it to a point where, like, psychologically, and even with, like, them using gang stalking tactics, I use all that stuff right back at them. If YouTube and Google does that to me, this is going to be, it's going to be hilarious. And like I've said a million times, I don't own a gun. I'm not going to do anything violent. I'm not going to punch someone. I'm not going to attack someone. I'm going to stab someone. I'm going to shoot someone. So it's on the record. And that's the truth, though. But mentally, I'm going to wear them down to a point where they don't even have a clue how to deal with their own psychological operations, because I've researched it. I know how they work. I know how things go. And you don't have to research it to know. All you have to do is use things that have occurred in your life and be like, wow, why did that piss me off so much? Or why did this matter so much? And think about it. Write it down. And then evaluate it and go, okay, because maybe this or maybe that made me feel this specific way. Well, okay. Well, that means psychologically they did something to you to make you feel that way. Whether it's an ex-girlfriend, a friend, an ex-friend, someone at a bar randomly calls you fat, whatever it is. That's how it always works. Everything is psychological. Never forget that. And everything you do. I think the easiest thing to say is, everybody who's listening, close your eyes. All right? I'm going to wait till everybody says yes and then closes their eyes. I'm going to wait a minute. I want to see yeses and closing your eyes. I'm still waiting. Come on. All right, close your eyes for this is going to be 15 seconds. Close your eyes. Okay. Every day, no matter what you do, you get up, you put on shoes, and you go to work, wherever it is, for the most part, unless you're living in bed. Do you remember at the end of the day when you tied your shoes or when you put your shoes on? If you worked at a job for X amount of years, do you remember the drive? There's a reason that you don't, right? You'd be like, oh yeah, I remember the drive last Tuesday, unless something happened where, like, a deer ran out in front of your car. I could be like, oh, how about your drive? You've been working at this job for 10 years. How about your drive 2 years ago on Tuesday? Of course you don't remember. How about tying your shoes 5 days ago? Of course you don't remember. You know why? Because this is what they do as far as, this is natural, actually, I should say, to start. Your brain, these are things you naturally do, right? You tie your shoes. You don't think, you're not in a state of mind where you're like, okay, left over right, up over down, tie it and make a bow. You just know, you just do, right? This is repetition in your life. This is this daily routine in your life, right? You tie your shoe every day. You don't remember. Nobody does. You ever tie in your shoe going left over right, down, cross, bow, pull, double knot? Is anyone who's listening, are you doing that? Unless you're 5 and you just learned how to tie your shoes yesterday? Nobody is, right? Anytime you tie your shoes, are you thinking of it? No. Right? Because this is conditioning in your mind. And that's why it's so important to realize how the mind works. You remember this because this is something that you did, and now it's something that you can do in an alpha state, right? A delta state. You could tie your shoes without thinking about how to do it. And this is what they do with everything else. This is why they desensitize people and normalize things, because they make it a part of normalization. Sure, that's something that's different, tying your shoes. I get it. It's different than seeing, pentagrams and all this other stuff. But if they keep you constantly in a state of mind where you can go through life doing these things repetition wise, right? Tying your shoes, getting up, having the same breakfast every day, having, the same coffee you have, right? They keep you in a state of mind where there's not conscious thought. It's part of your routine, which is part of repetition. It prevents your mind from seeing these other things that are actually happening in reality. I'm talking about signs. I'm talking about symbols. I'm talking about behavior, right? Because you've been programmed to automatically like how to respond to people's problems, right? A friend calls. They're like, "Oh man, my girlfriend or my boyfriend cheated on me." Well, then you're gonna respond, right? "Oh, how are you feeling?" "Oh, that piece of crap." These are all things that have been put into our heads through programming, through television, right? Through movies, seeing it over and over, right? Because it's become a normal thing, like breakups and all that stuff, divorces, normalized through repetition. Things that happen during an alpha state of mind. When you watch television, okay, it's no different than tying your shoes and how when you tie your shoes, because you're watching in the same state of mind. You're not watching TV going left over right, up over down, cross it over and make the bow. You're watching it, you're relaxed. That's when they go and they swoop in and they go, this is where we get the mind control. And this is where they program you. This is where they say what they want to say and do what they want to do. Right? That's why all these shows and these movies have the same plot, right? Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever enough for anyone. A boyfriend is not good enough. You do better. Your husband isn't a good enough husband. You could always find Prince Charming. Your wife isn't hot enough. You could do better. Right? Until everybody's out there like, shit, I messed up. Strive for more. Strive for more. Your job's not good enough. Everything's not good enough. The distraction, the wheel that they create, it's all through subliminal mind control. Because the mind they have trained the mind to operate in a delta state, an alpha state. A state of mind where you're not critically thinking, where you're just constantly going through motions, right? You're like, dinner is tonight. Okay. Macaroni and cheese is in the freezer. Everything's just boom, 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 boom. It's like if you drew a line across the table nearest to you. Everything's just on the line. And anything that goes above it or below it would actually be a thought outside of the paradigm that they've created of you going, this smells like bull crap. Whoa, there goes the line up. Or, I want to do something different. I don't want to eat the same thing or do the same thing tonight. Oh, there's the line going down. You must always think like that. You know why? Because that means you're thinking. And if you're not thinking, all you're doing is doing. You're doing whatever they're telling you to do. And yes, I get it. It's easier said than done, but it's the reality of what we live in. Everything is based off of mind control. Everything. And I just hope people who listen to this channel and follow it. I hope that you at some point in time can break away from that. And that includes my channel. Like, don't listen to my channel. Like, everything he says is a dual end all. That's not true. I'm a guy with an opinion. But I'll tell you right now, as far as thinking and thought and allowing your brain, because you can go through a day, you could be awake for 14 hours. If you there's people who literally go through a day for 14 hours with their brain completely in an alpha state, a delta state, just completely asleep. And you'd be like, well, that's not true. They're up, they're walking, they're driving. They're going through the motions that they've been programmed to go through. They don't want you to get to a conscious state of mind. They don't want you to make decisions. They don't want you to smell what's going on, see what's going on. They want that's part of the 9 to 5 enslavement. Not, there's a bunch of things that go into it. Obviously, the fact that, people are just enslaved to the dollar and enslaved to these pointless jobs, but routine. The routine keeps people away. Because then what happens? Saturday and Sunday come. What do you gotta do? Mow your lawn, do your laundry, take your kids so and so where, and do all this stuff. There's not enough time. When they steal time and they keep you in that state of mind, a non-conscious thinking state of mind, they enslave you. So at the very least, for your own sake, always try to think every time you do anything. Just be like, well, okay. If somebody comes up to you and tells you to do something or asks you something, just be like, well, why are they asking me this or telling me this? Before you go, yes, sure I will. Figure out what they're doing. I'm not saying at work, I'm saying in life. Because it's always a constant attack on the mind. I thank everybody for listening. I'm not going to stay around much longer. I see not many people are listening anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. It's dinner time for people. But I appreciate the support. Thank you, everybody who was here, super chat, and people who are commenting. Appreciate it. And Pamela Thrasher, God bless you. Good to see you. I need to thank me. Just venting, But remember, everybody, it starts with your mind. Everything you do every day starts with your brain. Every decision you make, even taking a dump starts with your brain. Because you decide, you feel it. You're like, all right, I got to go to the can. Everything with your mind. They're always looking to manipulate your mind. Thank you for listening to this live stream. God bless all of you and your families.